welcome to Star Wars Artefacts. The 5th episode of the 3rd season of the Bad Batch, titled The Return, is out. Here is my breakdown and general thoughts on the episode. As usual, this video will contain major spoilers. The son of Babu wakes up Omega on the Marauder. This is a huge contrast compared to the obscurity of her cell on Mount Tentis. She holds Lula, her Tuca doll, in her hands. She is greeted by Hunter and Wrecker. She goes on to check Crosshair, who is outside, target practicing with AZ. His right hand is still shaking a lot. They notice Hunter and Wrecker spying on them from the top of a cliff. Omega tells Crosshair he will eventually have to talk things out with Hunter. A ship arrives with Echo on board. Omega is happy to see him and gives him a big hug. The group discusses what happened on Tentis, and they wish to crack Nalisay's datapad to find out the base location and what kinds of experiments they are doing on the other clones. Since Tech is not there anymore, they will need to plug the datapad on an Imperial terminal to bypass the encryption. Crosshair speaks of a remote and understaffed Imperial base where it was stationed before. They all decide to go check it out. Before they leave, Wrecker gives Crosshair his old armor. He looks surprised they didn't throw it away. Hunter is visibly suspicious of his old teammate. The group traveled to Barton 4, the ice planet, where Crosshair shot Lieutenant Nolan, which ended with him being arrested. As they arrive, they realize the base has been abandoned. They get inside the bunker to plug and try to decrypt the datapad. Unfortunately, there is not enough power, so they need to shut down the sensor beacons. As Echo is doing his thing, Crosshair walks around and discovers Mayday's helmet on the floor, among others. The two of them went through a rough patch together in Season 2, and Mayday did not make it alive. He picks up the helmets and places them on a crate as a sign of respect. The ground starts shaking, so Crosshair and Hunter go outside to check it out. Batcher also feels that something is wrong and gets agitated. On the datapad, Echo only manages to discover medical files, but nothing indicates the location of Mount Tentis. Outside, Hunter and Crosshair have a much-needed discussion. Hunter wants to know what changed in Crosshair's mind that made him turn his back on the Empire. Crosshair tells him that he killed an Imperial officer. For his part, Crosshair blames Hunter for Omega's capture and Tech's death. He says his message mentioned to stay away, but he didn't listen. At that moment, a worm erupts from the ground. No, not that worm. That's a sandworm from a totally different franchise. Ah, that's better. A nice worm. Everyone takes refuge in the bunker. They can't go to the spaceship because part of it has sunken in the ice. So, the batch establish a plan to get the worm outside the perimeter before they power up the sensor beacons. Wrecker will reset the power of the grid. Hunter and Crosshair will act as bait for the creature, and Echo will spot them from the tower. As they draw the attention from the ice worm, Hunter falls into an ice cave. Crosshair and Batcher try to help him find an exit. Meanwhile, Wrecker successfully restores the power to the grid. Crosshair manages to pull Hunter out of the cave just in time. Since they are outside the perimeter, they can reactivate the beacons. We get the feeling that Hunter and Crosshair made a step in the right direction in terms of their relationship. Wrecker hugs them both, while Echo points out to Omega that they always work it out when there is a problem between them. Before they leave, Hunter and Crosshair have one final talk. They both admit that they have made mistakes, and they wish they had done things differently. The return has two meanings for Crosshair. First, it is obviously about his return with the badge, but it is also about his return on Barton 4, the location where he realized he was just a pawn for the Empire and a tool that could be thrown away. Echo mentioning the outpost service purpose triggers bad memories for Crosshair, as Lieutenant Nolan practically said the same thing when Mayday died in this very exact location. The ice vulture that was drawing a circle above his head in Season 2 as if it was waiting for him to die is now seen perched and looking more peaceful. The analogy can be made with Crosshair, who is now at his rightful place among his brothers. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or give us a super thanks. You can also follow us on social media at SW Artefacts. I'll see you soon for another video, and until then, may the Force be with you, always.